Alright, I think we're good. Let's get this thing started. Hey everybody. It is Friday the 13th November, and today we're doing some subscriber block games. Subscribers today are Darkstar, Sanguine Haze, and Yukupo. First game for today is a Sonic fan game from Darkstar called Sonic Before the Sequel that has pretty close to widespread critical acclaim, it looks like, especially from fans of the Sonic series. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, I recommend you enable the new Whisper beta. It's really cool. It makes Whispers behave almost like Facebook messages. It makes it persistent across different people's channels, so you can kind of have a chat history with people you've been whispering. It'll also make it a lot more likely that I'll actually see your whisper if you whisper me. I might not see it during stream, but I'll at least be able to check it out after the stream. I've got it pulled open for me to look at, you know. I think I need to jump on this. Testing it out this morning with Kami and Sanguine, and it's quite cool. I'd be a fan. I had a really successful day yesterday with Undertale. It was lots of fun. Let's see if I can get Andrea to play that. Try to stream part of it. You did see part of the end, but I don't think it's going to matter at the end of the day. Soundtrack in this game is pretty cool. I like the style up here too. I did some research. Apparently this was made by a Brazilian gamer who doesn't really have any programming experience, but used a tool called Sonic Worlds to set everything up. Like I said, among Sonic fans, it has fairly widespread critical acclaim. I do like the system when you take hits in this. It makes it pretty easy to recover, at least one ring. Yeah, I had 86 was my cap yesterday. It was obscene. So I'm glad that I waited to play Undertale until it had kind of died down a little bit on Twitch. When it first came out, there were like tons of people that had thousands of viewers. You can think of those as like sponges, keeping anybody from walking into my channel. So I think I waited just long enough for most of the big streamers to wrap it up to play it. I had a lot of fun with it though. It was a really, really cool game. Hey, thanks for the host, people. Sega's talked about this? That's good to hear. I mean, this was made after 3D Sonics were starting to come out and not doing that great of a job, right? Someone was like, can we make an actual Sonic game in the style of the retro titles? Oh, no worries, Mega Man. Thank you to everyone who was modding in chat yesterday. You managed to save me from every single spoiler. The only thing that I heard was that there was a character that was a knight with a fish head. But other than that, I avoided everything. And that's a pretty mild spoiler given everything that could have been revealed by people in chat. Yeah, big thank you to everyone. I'll repeat that again a bit today. Yeah, Goomba, it's so good. It's so good. Don't think you need to be a fan of Earthbound to enjoy it. It certainly gave me a lot of extra appreciation. I ended up seeing a lot of people in chat who had played Undertale but not played Earthbound. And they're like, wow, I didn't realize that there were this many, like, not references, but allusions. Better way to put it. Allusions, homages. I was worried the game would be mostly built on its similarity to Earthbound and its references, but it stands alone. Yeah, I believe this game's supposed to take place between Sonic 1 and Sonic 2 Chaos. There's another one called Sonic After the Sequel that's supposed to take place between 2 and 3, I'd imagine. Alright, I forgot about the robot. It's been a while since I played an actual Sonic game. Interesting. Now, is this music, like, composed by fans of the series helping out the creator, or is it all the creator? Oh, dang, that sucks, Mega Man. Today we're playing Sonic Before the Sequel until 1 o'clock Pacific. I'm gonna switch to... Oh, that's a rainbow background. Cool. I'm gonna switch to Brigandine, Sanguine Haze, and then it's gonna be Nino Saga Episode 1 for Yukupo. After that, it's Valkyria Chronicles from 3 to 6. Next week is when we're starting the scheduled pair down from 6 hours to 4 hours. My investment in the stream, my severance money from my old job, is running dry. We're going from 6 hours down to 4 hours. And looking like I'm going to do the 2 to 6 block. I'm still trying to decide between 2 to 6 and 1 to 5. Collecting arguments from subscribers. Hey Fraff, how you doing? Plan, since we did hit 1,000 followers, thank you everyone for your support and help with that during Undertale yesterday, is to do the 24-hour Mario marathon I've been talking about, which I should specify is trying to go through the main Mario series and beat as many of the games in that series as possible in the window. We're going to do that sometime the week of November the 30th, last week of November. I guess technically you think of it as the first week of December. I've heard arguments both for doing it on a weekday and on a weekend, and haven't completely decided yet, but I'm going to be working stuff out. If you have ideas for a 24-hour stream, particularly ideas that mods can help me out with, I'm going to have a lot going on, so it'll be tough to do too much on the side from actually playing the game. But if you have an idea that I could delegate some power to mods to help with, that could be really cool. Very good, Goomba. Oh, that's cool, Darkstar. So the red exclamation point sign is giving you a hazard indicator. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a problem with Sega's Sonic games. Am I supposed to be able to... Oh, I see. It looks like it's 3D, but it's not really. You can't like go along the edges. Problem with Sonic games, I was talking with Kami about this, that Sonic is usually positioned in the center of the screen. I think it's because, unlike Mario, you tend to actually backtrack in Sonic a bit. You'll bounce off a wall and be shot to the left. So if you position him at the left side so you can get more view of the right, it would be a problem if you're going left. That means it's hard to see if there's a hazard coming up. The only thing you can really do if you want to move fast through the level is just memorize the level layout. So having some kind of sign that lets you know, hey, falling means death here is wise. Good conveyance. They added some warning signs in your bottomless pits. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, cool. I wonder how boss design works in this Sonic Worlds tool. I like how this fight resupplies you with rings. It's actually tougher than it looks. The way he has got the screen scroll is a little tricky. Cool concept for a boss fight, though. Yes, the first week in December. November 30th is that Monday. It'll be anywhere from November 30th through December 5th or 6th, maybe. Once I nail down a date. I hear a lot of good arguments for doing it on a weekend. Not disrupting the main week schedule. Ooh, right. Automatically plays Tails, that's cool. But a big benefit, I think, is I'm going to be able to get some hosts from bigger streamers that I've hosted and who I know in real life that usually can't productively host me because they stream out long after I'm done, right? And not all of them stream on weekends, so that's a downside. Maybe what I could do is stream Friday through Saturday. Like start maybe in the afternoon on Friday. start at my normal start time. I like game that include Tails automatically. It's a cool character. Hey Kupo, how you doing? I'll try to make it a weekend if possible. Oh god, crap. Did you see, I'm pretty excited about this. I hope that it actually makes it into the core game and it's not just an announcement for the app, but there was some Mario Maker data that was in the European Nintendo Direct that wasn't in the American Nintendo Direct, where they talked about adding tags, and they talked about adding a super expert mode, which would be most excellent, because I'm guessing super expert would represent levels that have like less than 1% clear rate. But right now you can't really play the 100 Mario Maker mode, because there's no distinction between levels that are tough but beatable and levels that are stupid. Stupid either poorly designed or stupid like Pit of Bongo. Oh, that's funny. I didn't realize that's what happened. Oh, did they talk about the tags? So I watched some clips from Nintendo Direct, but I didn't rewatch the whole stream. I saw the Cloud announcement, which is hype as hell. Holy shit. If you haven't seen it before, you should check it out. Yes, sir. That'll be a fun one. I think we'll get to that in the Mario 24-hour stream. Mario World 2. Now, is it confirmed that Mario World 2 started as a different game and then they put Mario on it? Like they made it into a Yoshi game? It seems so wildly different from everything else in the series that it almost seems like another Doki Doki Panic situation. It could just be this game. Let me turn the game down. Thanks, Chaos. Should help a little bit. Let me know if that's any better. Appreciate the feedback. You should watch, if someone wants to link the Cloud in Smash Brothers announcement, it's like one of the hypest things I've ever seen. And it's really cool that Sakurai, the creator of Smash, is finally able to keep something under wraps without somebody leaking it. There are lots of little, like, nice references to Final Fantasy VII in the video. Like, there's a scene of Zelda kneeling over Cloud holding a flower. There's a scene of Cloud stealing Wario's motorcycle. There's a scene of Cloud looking dazed on a boat. Oh. Yeah, reusing sprites from other games like that is pretty common with fan games. Like, I Want to Be the Guy does that a lot. It is I Want to Be the Bashi. But it still feels like it could be fast, even though it makes required usage of Tails' flying ability. But it's kind of nice that it actually sets it up so levels are designed with Tails in mind. Yeah, Cloud Reaver. It looks pretty awesome, man. Like, and it's kind of a slap in the face to Sony, because Sony has that PlayStation All-Stars, like, Smash clone, and they tried really hard to get Cloud in it, because Sony has a lot, they really owe Square. Final Fantasy VII was certainly a system mover for the PS1, and who knows if they would be as big a contender right now in the console space if that game didn't exist. So this character that's almost exclusively on PlayStation systems, the remake of his game is only going to be for PlayStation systems, it looks like. Can't get him in an Sony or PlayStation All-Stars, but he's in Smash Brothers because Sakurai is some kind of crazy wizard. Yeah, I like the limit break mechanic. As with all the other characters, Sakurai has this amazing respect for other parties' franchises, so like all of the animations are spot on, the sound effects are spot on. We're getting the 2 battle themes from that game, Those Who Fight Further. Pretty stoked for it. Yeah, the summons on the Midgar stage, holy crap, they didn't have to do that, but you see Odin slice the stage in half. That's too bad, Raynex. I think that it absolutely makes sense. I mean, this is how I envision it going. Like, Final Fantasy is a huge franchise, and its roots are in Nintendo. But if you need to pick a representative Final Fantasy character, unfortunately, as much as I love, you know, Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy IV, like, there isn't a more iconic Final Fantasy character than Cloud, so I think it makes sense that's the one they went with. The next best thing I could see them do is, like, go with Black Mage or something. But no, I think it's very correct that they were able to include it. It's just as correct as having Solid Snake. Yeah, it's okay to be wrong. I agree, Cloud Reaver. How is Twitch Plays Dark Souls going? Geno feels all the more likely now, right, Nulu? I hope this is indicative of the upcoming partnership between Square and Nintendo. We need that in our life. Oh, Cloud Reaver, I didn't even think of that. Having a Zack skin? Yeah. I'm expecting a Zack skin, a Kingdom Hearts skin. We saw the Advent Children one. Looks like killing this guy from the air is not going to be trivial. Right? Hold on to this one ring. That's the opportunity to get rings back. I don't know if we're supposed to hit him. Looks like that's a shield that he's got there. Come back here. Alright. Lucky Tails. Okay, yeah. Those are shields, so we have to bounce at him in a specific spot. My coin's gone, so I'm probably going to die. Oh, I see. Make it a little bit easier if you bounce yourself off of that thing. Oh, try it again here. Yeah, if Square Enix and Nintendo get back together, my favorite celebrity couple, that would be the bee's knees. That would be delightful. I want to see Super Mario RPG 2, you know. I'd love to see a main series Final Fantasy game on a Nintendo console again. This fight is rough. We got lucky last time by bouncing off this thing. I think it was the intended mechanic. Gotta be careful not to double jump, though. Once he's flying, he's a much bigger risk for taking damage. I think I can just, like, chill back here and... No, it's not quite high enough. You gotta be off the platform, it looks like. Dang it, Bobby! Yeah, you really gotta not... It looks like this game doesn't have... Oh no, there are lives, I see in the bottom corner. Let's see what happens if we run out, which is very possible at this point. If you're joining us today, the plan today is our subscriber block. Subscribers on Patreon, we do a lottery once a week and play some games recommended by subscribers. A nice chance to show off a game that, you know, I might not do a full playthrough of on stream, or one that you want to get to the front of the list sooner. Today we've got this Sonic fan game, which is pretty cool. Really cool music. After that it's Brigandine, which is an SRPG for the PS1, and then Xenosaga Episode 1, which is a JRPG for the PS2. I bet Shovel Knight has a good chance of getting in. Yeah, I expected that Undertale would be huge because it has the really, really rabid fan base of Earthbound. But that's why I didn't want to play it right away, because I wanted to make sure I play it when most of the really big folks have finished it up. I think it was really successful, though. I had a lot of fun with it. It's easily one of the most fun blind playthroughs I've done on stream, just because we were so prepared for spoilers and because the game was so short. The longer the game is, the more likely a spoiler is going to make it through, but the mods just did an outstanding job of keeping that shut down. Huh. Did they transition because they beat Dark Souls, or why did they switch to Dark Souls 2, Flarewing? Yeah, go for it, Frappuccino, thanks for asking. Oh no! Okay, not game over. This is a cool song. Wonder, how do you indicate to the player what progress is this way? Because I would expect to go right with the way the springs worked earlier. Yeah. I would be shocked if a very minor indie character ever makes it into Smash. Shovel Knight seems like the most obvious one to be successful because the game is so big, but I don't know if we're going to see a really, really small character make it in. Now, this is coming from the person who just yesterday was saying they're not going to add any characters that don't have a major presence on Nintendo systems today, and then Cloud got announced. Like, there was a comment on the Smash subreddit that said something to the extent of, you know, that kid's uncle who works at Nintendo was right. We owe him one. Yes, exactly, Chaos. Blue Flame. I don't have that set up at the moment, but I can look into it. I haven't considered that before. Do you know any other streamers that are doing that right now? Maybe I can reach out to them for tips on how they're making that happen. My subscription service right now is set up with Patreon. Yeah, Cave Story would be one that would be cool, but I think it absolutely a requirement that the character be iconic. If you want to see more indie characters, you'll probably have to turn to something like Super Smash Flash, one of the fan games. Go! That could be cool, Cosmic Orin. Have I ever played any of the Shantae titles? No, I haven't. Can you sell them for me? I've never actually heard of them before. What kind of games are they? What's the genre? Like, what's the back of the box, like, elevator pitch? Crud. Hearing about these, sometimes people will bring up these awesome games that I've just never heard of before, and it just makes me more and more convinced that this whole, like, there's too many awesome games to beat all of them, that I do have that job security with Twitch. That even if I just do one playthrough of every game and don't try to 100% things, I'm not going to run out anytime soon. This song is like my favorite in the game so far. It's got that bumping bass line in the back. Jump. There's a mild conveyance issue with those purple spikes, I think. It's not completely obvious that they're part of the foreground and will damage you. It's not a horrible thing. I mean, you figure it out the first time you bump into one. But it's something that I noticed. It looks like it stands out more than some of the other Sonic-y enemies in this, right? And hazards. Not a bad thing, but I'm curious, like, what does that tell us about game design? How would you redesign that spike to make it more clear that it harms the player? Maybe change the colors so it doesn't match the color scheme of the rest of the environment, which includes background and foreground elements. And the fact that it's moving helps a bit. I think that means there's an enemy coming, right? Yeah, looks like it. Ooh, Serp. If you say Metroidvania, I'm already listening. Much as I love JRPGs, I think Metroidvania is my favorite genre of video game. They bring me joy. Immoral Atheist. It'll be the last Direct About Smash ever? Or the last Direct About Smash for 2015? I'm dubious that they're not going to keep milking Smash for as long as possible. I like good pixel art. Yeah, Serp, that sounds really cool. Did you ever play Ori and the Blind Forest? It came out earlier this year. I did a blind playthrough of that on stream. It's like a Metroidvania that's like Fern Gully. It's really, really good. Very pretty. It's not pixel art. I do kind of prefer the like 16-bit style, but Ori is extremely pretty, so it gets a pass. Ori's really good. You should check it out if you haven't. It's quite short too. It's maybe 10 hours long. It's about as long as Undertale, even if you try to 100% it. Pick it up. Watch for the winter sale this year. Ah, bollocks. Oh. Jump. No! In retrospect, the ring mechanic is really nice for Sonic. Like, I think they got it right in Sonic 1, and they haven't really had to dork with it since then. Yeah. That's one of the beauties about Metroidvania titles, is they're fairly short. You can get more, you know, you can squeeze more blood out of the stone by trying to 100% them. But no one's really made like a 60-hour Metroidvania game, right? Yeah, I hear you, Goomba. It's super close for me. It's hard for me to say JRPGs edge them out because I haven't played very many bad Metroidvanias, but I have played a lot of bad JRPGs. So maybe that's not fair to the good JRPG titles, like, you know, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI. Story room to control time for the 3DS. Anyone know what game that is? I'm trying to live stream Minecraft. I've got a desktop and a crappy laptop. What should you get? You can... Minecraft is a tough one to stream because it's so CPU intensive if your computer's not particularly good. I think you can get away with it. You'll just probably have to turn your settings down a bit to keep your frame rate at a reasonable level. You want to pick up a tool called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, and then Google, like, OBS walkthrough, basically. Give you an idea of what you should be doing with it, how you should set it up. If you have specific questions for me and Blue Flame, you're welcome to shoot me a Twitch message. I'd be happy to help you out if you want to know like what your settings should be. And like, if you're going to do Minecraft, I'd recommend you do it on your more powerful machine. I'll warn you that Minecraft is a really rough game to live stream, especially if you haven't done it before, simply because so many people on Twitch play Minecraft. So the chance of somebody popping into your channel and hanging out is pretty low at the beginning. You could play another game that's a little bit more niche until you get enough of a following that people will come back and watch you play Minecraft. And that could maybe get you started streaming, playing a game that's a little bit less CPU intensive. You know, like Undertale, where I think you're going to get viewers for Undertale no matter how low you are if you say that it's a certain kind of playthrough. Order of Ecclesia, yeah, that's a really good one. All the Castlevania Metroidvania games are really good. R.I.P. Konami, right? I was so close to getting to that checkpoint last couple times. "3DS eShop only." Interesting. If someone finds that, let me know. I'd be interested in it. That's a cool mechanic. Jump. We're playing this Sonic fan game for another 30 minutes before we transition to Brigandine, the PS1, and then Xenosaga for the PS2, before doing Valkyria Chronicles. If you've never seen Valkyria Chronicles before, I recommend you check it out. It's pretty cool. If you played like Fire Emblem before, I think you'll kind of get a kick out of it, how its take on that sort of genre of game. Blue Flame, you'll want to get OBS, Open Broadcast Software. If one of y'all in chat would be so kind as to find the link and post it for Blue Flame, you can go ahead and do that. Got the 1+ hours launched. I think that there's also a page on the Twitch help site that shows you like frequently asked questions about getting started streaming, what you need to know. Oh, that's interesting, Cosmic. Stage-based, but you still need upgrades to progress sometimes. Yeah, if you had it on there, Buckin. Thank you, Darkstar. Appreciate that. Does the green mean anything? I'm not sure. I like how this gets the feel of the 3D from the Sonic special stages without actually having a 3D component. It seems like it's more about collect as many rings as possible. But I guess it's good to have the one-ups. Like, we're down to 1 life. I don't know how the game overs work in this game, how brutal they are. Right. Yeah, I might increase the sphere point multiplier when I pare down the stream to help keep the numbers balanced, because they're balanced on the assumption of a 6-hour stream. So I might just put a multiplier on there so it evens out. I'll probably put a multiplier on the 24-hour Mario stream we're gonna do here in the first week of December. I wonder if it's that Sonic bosses are running and Tails bosses are stationary. You play a really good card game on RPG Maker. I love RPG Maker, man. I feel like you should expose most kids to that game. Ooh, shoot. Gives you a really nice intuition for not just game design in general, but even just like the basics of computer programming. You realize exactly how much work goes into something. Ouch. Come on, Botnik. Now, have we officially changed Robotnik's name to Eggman? Is that a thing now? I think that's what he's always been called in Japan, but I think they pulled like a Dragon Warrior Dragon Quest thing and said we're gonna call him that in the US now too. Awesome, Sanguine. Yeah. I don't think I know anyone personally who actually made a good game with RPG Maker themselves, but it's always a really good experience. It makes you appreciate games a lot more, I think. Yeah, Hadoken. You could conceivably get there by December. Definitely a possibility, especially if you're tuning in for that 24-hour Mario stream. I'll probably give a pretty big sphere point multiplier for that. People even just want to hang out and chat. Yeah, I've seen some really... I mean, like, what's the game? Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden, one of the best fan RPGs of all time. Is I think it was originally set up in RPG Maker and then ported to Game Maker, but it uses a lot of assets from RPG Maker. Manifest? It's a surprisingly robust tool set, and people do some really cool things with it. Write custom scripts, that kind of thing. Oh, awesome, Kami. My dad is an ordained minister. I'm not, clearly. But when I was a kid, I made an RPG Maker game about Paul the Apostle. You can probably still find it out there somewhere. Oh, speed up. Oh. Actually, I'm not sure which way is forward anymore. Probably this way, right? The music in this level is very pretty. I assume I have to go, but it looks like I'm going down. And I've kind of lost track of what forward is. Maybe some arrows would help here. I'm not sure how to fix that, you know. It looks like Tails just have permafly, so that's helpful, figuring out where you're supposed to go. No! No, he does the tornado kick. Pretty funny. Sonic 2 on the 3DS? Lost levels. Alright, made it. Nice, Goomba. Yeah, I've done that before. I've made a little inside joke game. Just some kind of fun. I've seen people, like, propose you know, to their girlfriend using RPG Maker. It's a neat tool. Check it out if you haven't before. Anything suffix maker, I think, is good for kids to have exposure to. We have this kind of running problem, and this has existed since time immemorial, of taking things for granted, not really understanding how much work goes into the creation of things. Having even just a basic intuition for what's going on in the level design in this game, for example. Oh. I was confuzzled. I had to wait. So I think some would argue that a sequence like this is like fundamentally anti-Sonic. Auto-scrolling sections in general, I know speedrunners tend to not be fans of. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, games should have levels like that. If you constrain yourself so that you really should be able to always be pressing the forward button and never letting go, it's kind of hard to make interesting gameplay that really works that way in practice. But it's still probably a good idea to stay away from auto-scroller sections. Unless if they're very fast or have something else that you're having to deal with. Ouch. Hey, Blue Frame. 3DS streaming is actually one of the most complicated things you could possibly think of doing. The 3DS doesn't have any way natively to output video to anything other than its own screens. So if you want to stream the 3DS, you need to get a capture card built into your actual device. I had mine ordered from this company in Japan, in Akihabara. They have to crack open a brand new 3DS and they have to solder the equipment onto the motherboard, and then they drill a hole into the top of it so you have a USB port. You could pretty inexpensively get capture equipment for any of the main consoles though, like Xbox One and PS4 will let you stream natively, you don't need to have a capture card. Getting something for Wii U is run maybe about $100. Yeah, I can hear that flaring. It's not just eat your vegetables, learn about game design. Well, you're kind of in a unique position, I think. Maybe there's a overlap in film. You know, like once you watch a few videos about cinematography, it will make you appreciate and see that kind of thing in movies a little bit more often. Sort of the same thing with dorking around with RPG Maker. Yeah, I agree, Cosmic. I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is my jam. That's my favorite Sonic title. Alright, see you, Goomba. Serp, I need to think about that. The 2016 thing, having the thing expire is to just keep the list from getting way too overbearing and way too full, right? Eventually, if I become a big Twitch streamer, which I'd like to do, and I've got lots of people that have plenty of points, that list could get arbitrarily huge. And maybe that's okay. I mean, it could be really huge. You know, just let people sort it by game name, look for their title. I don't technically have anything limiting for me from that, aside from trying to keep it reasonably small. The plan, though, is that whenever I beat a game, that one of those the slot doesn't go away. I just replace it with a different one. So maybe I could have a sphere point auction when I beat a game, and the person who wins the auction picks what game gets added to the list. It still has to get voted up after that. You know, they don't just automatically get the game played next once they win the auction. Or base it on donations or something. I'll need to consider it again here in 2016. Holy crap, Moral Atheist, one thing that I didn't have an appreciation for before I started streaming is how non-trivial video editing is, just as far as the time it takes to process and edit to a video. Did you know that if you have a 4-hour video and all you want to do is remove 1 second from the end of it, your paint intuition would tell you, oh, that'll just save immediately. No, it turns out if you delete 1 second from a 4-hour video, it's going to take you about 4 hours to process, and because you have to re-encode the whole thing from beginning to end. I had no idea before I got into Twitch that was a thing. So if I make a slight mistake when I'm streaming, like I forget to stop my recording and restart it when I switch games, I have to set aside about 4 or 5 hours in the evening to fix it. think people are just like that about everything. There's a unique human advantage that we have, and it's black boxing, right? We can use a device, we can interact with something without understanding how all of its parts work. And I'm almost certain that there's no one alive today who completely understands how a computer works all the way from front to back. Like, they understand everything about at the circuitry level, at the deep hardware level. They understand everything at the OS and kernel level. They understand everything on the software level. At some point, they just have to trust that somebody else is an expert in that field and has set it up for them. Like I said, that's an amazing strength of our species, of our ability to learn from each other and pass knowledge down and not have to have a perfect understanding of things, but it also makes it really easy to take things that you don't understand for granted. Now it's this guy again. Actually, this seems a little bit less of a pain in the butt than the last one. Might not be true, we'll see. No, but it's kind of easy to take a hit in this fight, isn't it? I like how it's kind of built with the idea of using tails. Miles, tails, powers. Oh, those are coins, or rings, I should say. Get the ring. There we go. Let's see, they turn into rings eventually, it looks like. Alright, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, I think so, little D-piece. Hey, Leon. I should say, Dr. Leon, if you guys haven't already congratulated Leon, recently passed his thesis defense in physics. He is now a doctor. Congratulations, sir. And also, thank you for subscribing. You check that scroll up in the corner. Leon is now a subscriber. As is Flarewing, as a thank you for his provision of my new, like, avatar that I've branded everything with. He put together a really cool GIF explaining the creation process. You should start seeing them in the upcoming subblocks. He's a Sonic Colors boss, Darkstar. Gotcha. Cool, Cosmic. Yeah, I was watching another streamer friend of mine, people play through the newest Tomb Raider one, the Rise of the Tomb Raider. It looks really cool. Like, it kind of cracks me up how Tomb Raider inspires Uncharted inspires Tomb Raider, right? That might be one that I want to play with Andrea. I think she would like the Tomb Raider games. They're kind of up her alley. Yeah, Dio, I've got the whole thing on YouTube. It's just one big, almost 10-hour video. Check it out. Let me know what you think of it. It was a lot of fun, though. I liked it just as much as everybody thought I was going to like it. I had a few minor issues. There was a little bit in Act 2 that was a little slow. And, like, there's a part where you kind of need to reload your game to get the final ending without spoiling anything specific about Undertale. And that part felt a little slow. It felt like it was an epilogue and not gameplay. So I naturally was just paying more attention to chat, and I realized, wait, no, this is actually a game again. Everyone's like, stop looking at chat, man, play the game. Like, what are you talking about? What game? And then sure enough, they were right. But outside of that, I'd say it's definitely like a 9.5 out of 10. Excellent, excellent title. Of all the games I've played this year that have come out in 2015, it's probably on the top of my list. Yeah, Prince of Persia. Yeah, it's a good way to start that, Cosmic. I didn't even think of that. There's probably some interplay between Tomb Raider and the Prince of Persia reboot, too, right? So, like, Prince of Persia inspires Tomb Raider, inspires Prince of Persia Sands of Time, inspires Tomb Raider, inspires Uncharted, inspires Tomb Raider. Hey, Lady of Thorns, good seeing you again. Let's see. I've never beaten NES or the, like, was it Amiga, Commodore 64, the old school Prince of Persia. I've played the newer ones. Oh, shoot. So I've played, Sands of Time, which is a great game. I'd love to play that on stream, and we'll play it on stream. It's one of the greatest games ever made. They kind of went in the wrong direction after that, if I recall. Yeah, flaring. Gotta have that jazz noodling. Clean guitar. There was a touch control Prince of Persia for the DS? Really? I've never played it before. Huh. Be interested to see if they can bring Prince of Persia back. I think it can happen. They were actually a little ahead of their time. I remember reviewers were really upset. It was the rebooted Prince of Persia, so not the Sands of Time reboot, but the next one. I think it was just called the Prince of Persia. But in that game, whenever you like fell in a hole, you had this like companion character that would just pick you up and put you back where you jumped from. And at the time, reviewers were pissed at that mechanic. They said, this is horrible, like there's no consequence for failure, this sucks. And now more and more we're seeing games do that, like Tomb Raider does that. You know, you make a mistake, you get a brief loading screen and it kind of takes you right back to the jump you were at. Because it really, the answer is the penalty for failure is that you failed. We really don't need to punish you more than that most of the time, depending on the game. These things suck. This game has a pretty awesome soundtrack choice. There are bottomless pits in this stage, yeah. I didn't see if they were marked. So we got about 13 more minutes of this Sonic fan game from Darkstar, one of our subscribers on Patreon. Once a week we do a sub-block lottery. I draw a subscriber, weighted based on how long they've been subbing and how long it's been since they've had a shot. People who are new subs get a pretty big weight. They get a good chance to have their game shown at least once. They play whatever game they pick for an hour. My usual rules for stream are I want to play through and beat every awesome game, but those rules are mostly suspended for sub-block. The game doesn't have to be awesome. If you want to make me play Superman 64 for an hour, you can. And I won't have to beat it. So some games that are cool but aren't really worth beating are good to include in sub-block, and you'll often see them. Oh, it does save the game at the end of the zone? Okay, I'll make sure I save the playthrough then, Darkstar. Thanks for letting me know that. I did some brief play testing of just the first level, but didn't notice any kind of saving mechanic. Go. So this part is pretty slow for a Sonic game. You cannot jump quickly through this because you don't know where the platforms are going to be. Interesting. I like the background design on this level. I don't yet know how to interact with that, unless if I'm not supposed to go right there. Probably gonna die. Hit by a car here. I'm going this way. Oh, am I supposed to get like all the stars? I see a little number 5 at the top of the screen. Okay, that opens the gate if we get all the stars. Understood. Ow. Yeah, the jazzy music in this level is really cool. This world. Also a fan. I like listening or watching like live noodly jazz. Where basically they have a basic backbeat and everyone just takes turns doing crazy solos. There's a Sonic fan game that's a Metroidvania? Oh man, tell me more. How does that work? There's another star I gotta find. That seems like that'd be a really rough set of genres to combine. Like, one, how do you do upgrades in Sonic? And with the exploration focus, like I feel like Metroidvanias are almost fundamentally slow. Like, how do you make a fast one? I'd be interested in see like a video of that game just to see how they try to pull that off. Chaos Emeralds in Sonic 1, Mario? What are the rules for Chaos Emeralds? Is it that you have to have a certain number of rings when you complete the stage, and then you go in the big special level portal at the end? I know the special portals in Sonic 3, that's the one I've played the most, are hidden in each stage. But if I remember right, you have to like beat Sonic 1 stages either with a certain number of rings or taking a certain amount of damage. And then it gives you a special stage that you have to clear to get a Chaos Emerald. There it is. 50 rings and hit a checkpoint. Thank you, Chaos. There you go. Is that your answer, Mario? Oh, there's still one more. I think it shows me a counter at the top of the ones in the current zone I'm in. So that 01 is in the top corner. If there was one here, I don't see it anymore. Ouch. Hey, welcome back, Goomba. Interesting, Cosmic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you do that. Seems tricky. Broke the stage. Get the stars. 1, 2. Okay. And the number doesn't seem to reflect how many are actually remaining. Hard to tell. Oh no, it's how many you've collected. It's not how many you have left to find, I guess. I think I soft-locked it. That's a bummer. Axiom Verge, I've played a couple hours of it. I played it right when it came out, and it was a little buggy. And I know that, like, part of the game is that it's, like, riffing on the idea of glitches in games. So I put a hold on my playthrough for now until they give it a couple patches, which they may have done by now. But I enjoyed what I saw of it. It has a cool high concept. My only issue with Axiom Verge when I checked it out was that it was really easy to get lost. You don't really develop Axiom Verge vision like you develop Metroid vision, you know, where you look at a wall and you're like, oh, I bet I can use a Morph Bomb Ball there. Oh, ouch. Let's see, where is the next star? As much as the music is rad in this stage, I think this has been my least favorite stage so far because of it's this is like the least Sonic thing you could possibly do, right? Have you run around a stage looking for stars? Everything up to this point has been pretty true to the style of the main series levels, I would say, though. Let's go. Jump. Jump. Let's see. Sonic have a Twitter? What style of Sonic are they evoking? Are they doing like Jaleel White era cartoon, like Chili Dogs? You guys remember that cartoon? There were two Sonic cartoons. There was one that was goofy and one that was like super dark. I think there've been new ones since then, obviously, but those are the ones I remember growing up. The one had Jaleel White, who you might know as Urkel from Family Matters. Let's go. Let's go up here. Alright, this part feels good. Which one is Sonic Underground? What's the elevator pitch for that one? Oh, the TV show. Yeah. There was one, it was kind of like the Mega Man cartoon, which was mostly not so great, but I remember there being one episode that involved Mega Man X that was really cool. That came from the future. Oh man, those things are nasty. Nice, Leon. Do I start over from the beginning if I game over? Hopefully not. We'll see here. Looks like I get a chance to load my game. Heck yeah! Secret at Nim, Cloud Reaver. Looks like we'll have to do this level again, but that's okay. This one was cool and has really chill music. Man, do you know that Secret of Nim, like the movie, was actually darker than the book? This is back in like the late 80s, early 90s when kids' movies were almost necessarily terrifying. I don't know, do you guys know of any like kids' movies that have come out in the last 10 years that have been as terrifying as like, I don't know, Labyrinth, Dark Crystal, Secret of Nim, Neverending Story? Yeah. This is a cool song. I think this is my favorite song I've heard so far. Outside of the funky bass stage. What's that, Fraff? What do you mean? Coraline? Labyrinth is an awesome movie. Like, the first build character in that movie should be David Bowie's Package, followed by David Bowie, and then Jennifer Connelly. Hey, Chaos, you remind me of the Babe. Let's keep going. See if I can get to the next level, although I'm guessing either way when I start playing next time I'm gonna have to start over from the beginning of this level. Looks like the save counts from zone to zone. I think I have a couple times. This one has the special levels built into the end of the third act, I think Darkstar was saying, Chaos. Babe with the power. How far do we get on Phantom Hourglass? We beat the third boss. We beat the boss where you have the bow and arrow, and like you on the top screen you see the fight from the boss's point of view, but the boss himself is invisible, so you have to like you have to watch his point of view so you can shoot him in the face with the arrow. It was really cool actually. I'm liking Phantom Hourglass way more than I thought I would. I think I was salty about it when it came out because of its whole style, and on second pass, like, it's a really good Zelda game, and it has some of the most clever puzzles I've seen in the series. Yeah, I almost prefer that you're very likely to get into the special stages. Power of Voodoo, Chaos. Okay, that's cool. I'll go ahead and switch to Brigandine now. Thanks for sharing that, Darkstar. It was a really cool game. I'll let this run for a little bit while I get Brigandine set up. Give me a sec to switch everything over here. Brigandine. You do. Okay, sounds good, man. Next up is Brigandine from Sanguine Haze, one of our patrons. This game is a SRPG for the PS1, and it's pretty neat. If you've never seen it before, I think you'll kind of like its style. I'll try to explain what makes it different from like Fire Emblem and other games as we play it. Let me turn off Joy to Key, since I'm not going to be using that. There we go. If you check out Sonic Before the Sequel, you'll probably want to get Joy to Key. It's a tool that lets you map controller buttons to keyboard keys. It seems like the kind of game you probably want to be playing with a keyboard. It's okay. Gotta fix the formatting on this and we'll get started with it.